Luna's breath came in ragged gasps as she stood on the jagged edge of the Malibu cliff, the surf crashing against the rocks far below. The sky was smeared with orange and violet as the sun began to set, casting long, ominous shadows across the coastline. Her grip on Steffi's arm was unrelenting, fingers dug deep into flesh, a gun pressed against Steffi's temple. Steffi's hair whipped around her face, tangled in the wind, her eyes wide with terror but burning with fury. A single move from Finn could end this in blood. Finn stood 10 feet away, arms raised, the manila envelope in one hand. His fingers trembled. In that envelope was the evidence, the recordings, the financial trail, the testimonies that would bury Luna forever. But in front of him was Steffi, the love of his life, caught in the crosshairs of a woman desperate, unhinged, and no longer afraid to die. "You think I won't do it?" Luna's voice cracked. "You think I won't take her over with me? You don't know me, Finn. You never did." The irony was sharp. He had once trusted her, once believed she was just a troubled soul seeking redemption. But that was before the fire at Forrester Creations. Before the stolen designs, the bribed witness, the anonymous threats to the judge. Before the truth bled out in pieces too small to ignore. "Give it to me," Luna hissed. "Now, or she dies." Finn looked into Steffi's eyes. Her lips didn't move, but the message was clear. Don't give in. Before he could respond, a voice cut through the tension. "Luna." It was soft, calm, and impossibly steady. "Will." He stepped out from behind the rocks, holding up a small silver recorder. The red light blinked steadily. "It's all here. Every word since you got here." Luna's head snapped toward him. "You little bastard," she spat. Her finger twitched on the trigger. "Don't," Finn shouted. Luna lunged, her attention split. In a blur, she aimed the gun at Will, pulled the trigger. But Steffi twisted violently, knocking Luna off balance. The shot rang out, echoing off the cliffs. Will dove for cover. Luna staggered, tried to regain her footing, but the ground gave way. Her scream was short-lived as her body tumbled over the edge, disappearing into the foam and black rocks below. The silence that followed was thick, brutal. Finn ran to the edge, scanning the water. No sign of her. Only the rolling waves, the blood-orange sky, and a sickening emptiness where she had been. Search crews combed the shoreline for days. They found a bullet casing, torn fabric from Luna's blouse, and eventually, her shoe caught between two rocks. But no body. No confirmation. Nothing that said with certainty she was gone. Steffi tried to believe it. Finn tried harder. But neither of them slept through the night without hearing that final scream. A week passed. Then came the roses. Early one morning, just as the tide rolled in, a beachcomber spotted them. Dozens of white roses, pristine and dry, resting on the sand as if placed there by an invisible hand. And with them, a silver pendant, glinting in the morning sun. Finn picked it up himself. His chest tightened when he saw the inscription etched into the back. FF Fiona Fallon. Luna's real name. The message was unmistakable. She was alive. And she was coming back. Finn didn't tell Steffi right away. He couldn't, not yet. Not until he figured out what Luna wanted, what she had planned. The forensic analysis on the roses came back inconclusive. No prints. No trace DNA. As if someone had worn gloves and placed them in the dead of night. The pendant, however, was unmistakable. It had been among Luna's possessions since childhood, a gift from her mother. She never took it off. Not unless she wanted someone to find it. At first, they thought it might be a cruel prank. Someone seeking attention. But then came the photo, slipped under the door at the hospital, no note, no envelope. A shot of Finn asleep in his office chair. taken from just feet away. Security footage showed nothing. Then another message arrived, this time scrawled in red across the mirror in the Forrester Mansion guest bathroom. He chose her. The handwriting matched Luna's diary, still in police evidence. But there was no sign of forced entry. Paranoia gripped the Forrester household. Steffi refused to let the kids out of her sight. Bodyguards were posted around the clock. Ridge wanted to pull the family out of Los Angeles altogether, but Steffi wouldn't leave. She's here, she told Finn, her voice steel. And I'm not running. Finn, torn between guilt and duty, began working double shifts. He scoured medical supply orders, hospital badge logs, local pharmacy security feeds, any lead that could indicate Luna's reappearance. But she had vanished like smoke. The LAPD reopened the case, now treating it as a fugitive threat. Still no trace. Then came the second death. Carter Walton, found in his apartment with a syringe still in his neck. Toxicology revealed a compound so rare only 3 labs in California even carried it, and one of them had been robbed 2 nights prior. Security footage? Wiped. Entry logs? Deleted. On Carter's dining table, arranged neatly, were more roses. White. And on his phone, a final voice memo he never got to send. Just one word. Forgive. The funeral was closed casket. Finn felt the noose tightening. He'd kept secrets, he had lied to protect Steffi, covered for Luna before knowing what she was. Now those decisions were unraveling and the body count was rising. And still, Luna remained a ghost. Then, out of nowhere, Zend received a package. No return address. Inside, one of his own designs altered. Elegant, haunting, blood red. The sleeves embroidered with letters TDF and sewn inside the lining, a scrap of sheet music from an old lullaby. Zend broke down on the spot. The design had been from a private sketchbook, never released publicly. Only Luna had ever seen it. The Forrester offices went into lockdown. Hope Logan canceled all shows for the quarter. Paris left town. Eric demanded a private investigator be brought in, one not tied to the police. But it was too late. Luna struck again. This time, the target was Taylor. She had been preparing a speech for a psychology conference in San Francisco when her hotel room door blew open. The housekeeper found her unconscious, bound to the bed frame. No injuries. No note. Just a single rose pinned to her blouse, and the pendant lying beside her, now smeared with red lipstick. The lipstick shade was discontinued. It had been Luna's signature. Taylor survived, but she remembered nothing. Luna wasn't trying to kill now. She was toying with them. Sending a message, she could reach them anytime. Anywhere. Finn realized too late what she was building. A narrative. Not just revenge. She wanted justice on her terms. She wanted to flip the script, make herself the hero in a story where they were the villains. Every action was precise, theatrical, dripping with symbolism. But then came the real twist. The security chief at Forrester, Quinn, found something hidden in the studio basement, a shrine of sorts. Candles. Photos. News clippings. Doodles of roses. A cracked mirror with Steffi's name carved into the glass. And beneath it all, a birth certificate. Not Luna's. A child. The name? Leora Fallon. Mother, Fiona Fallon. Father, John Finnegan. Finn's world shattered. He had no memory of any affair. No knowledge of this child. But the certificate was authentic. Dated 5 years earlier. Luna had faked her identity, her past, her connection to the Forresters, but not the child. Somewhere along the way, she had carried his child, hidden the truth, and now she was using that child as the fulcrum of her war. The implication was clear. She believed Finn stole something from her, and now she was taking everything from him, piece by piece. But if Leora existed, where was she? The search widened. International alerts. DNA testing. Even Jack Finnegan came out of hiding to assist. But no trace of the girl was ever found. Until the final message arrived. A drone flew over the Forrester estate one evening, just before sunset. It hovered, paused, and then dropped a package into the garden. No one saw who controlled it. Inside the package, a tablet. It played a video. Luna, standing beside a small girl on a windswept plain, both of them dressed in white. "Hello, Finn," Luna said, smiling coldly. "Meet your daughter." She leaned down. "Say hi to Daddy, Leora." The girl waved. Then the screen went black. A single word appeared, "Soon." And just like that, the war became something else. Not just survival. Not just revenge. A battle for a child. And it was only just beginning. The morning of the wedding dawned without warning. A pale lavender hue settled over the Forrester estate as the rooftop garden transformed into a scene from a dream, flowers strung from trellises, white chairs lined in perfect rows, the soft hum of a quartet tuning their strings. Everything was meticulously planned, as only Taylor Hayes could orchestrate. It wasn't just a wedding. It was her victory. Ridge had chosen her. Finally, after years of triangles, betrayals, tears, and impossible choices, he had chosen her. And Brooke Logan? She was finished. But she wasn't gone. Somewhere across town, behind thick curtains and silence, Brooke stood motionless in front of her vanity. Her eyes, rimmed with sleepless red, stared into her reflection like it was someone else's face. Her fingers clutched the wedding invitation. No RSVP. No reply. Just a gut wound that hadn't stopped bleeding since Ridge announced his decision. She had tried everything: tears, pleas, history. None of it mattered. He had walked away. And now he was about to walk down the aisle with Taylor. Nick Marone sat on the edge of her couch, watching her carefully. "You don't have to let it end like this," he said. "We could crash that wedding, you and me. One last Logan move to burn the house down." He tried to smile. "Poetic, don't you think?" But Brooke didn't blink. "Crashing it won't change anything." Nick leaned forward. "Then what? You're just going to sit here while they tie the knot?" "No," Brooke said softly. "I'm going to stop it." He raised an eyebrow. "How?" She turned to him, calm and terrifying. "I'm going to let her in." Nick stiffened. "Her who?" "Sheila." He stood up immediately. "Brooke, no. No way. That woman's nuclear. You don't negotiate with Sheila Carter." Brooke's smile didn't reach her eyes. "That's exactly why I'm going to." The meeting happened in a parking garage. Dim lights. No witnesses. Brooke wore black. Sheila wore a smirk. They circled each other like predators, each waiting for the other to flinch. "Why would I help you?" Sheila asked. "Because I can get you into the wedding," Brooke replied. "Unsearched. Unseen. And in return, you do what you've always wanted. You tear their world apart." Sheila paused, the silence thick with unspoken history. "What's the catch?" Brooke handed her a flash drive. "Everything you need to bypass security. Guest list. Floor plans. Guard rotations. One condition: you leave my family out of it. This is between you and them." Sheila took it. "You sure about this, Logan?" Brooke nodded once. "I don't want Ridge hurt. But I want Taylor humiliated." Sheila grinned. "Then let's give the bride a day she'll never forget." By mid-afternoon, guests began arriving at the Forrester rooftop garden. The sun shimmered overhead and lavender shimmered across every surface. Taylor, radiant in a pale lilac gown, smiled serenely as she greeted guests. Ridge looked strong, dashing and, unbeknownst to him or the crowd, fragile. A time bomb in a tuxedo. Hidden among the servers was Sheila. Hair darkened, cheekbones shaded, eyes alert. She moved like mist, slipping through the garden's edges, eyes on the altar. The bouquet was in Taylor's hand. The vows were ready. The quartet began to play. Then Brooke arrived. The crowd turned. She wore midnight blue, not a trace of sadness on her face. Her heels clicked like gunfire across the stone floor. Ridge's mouth parted, confused. Taylor's smile faltered. Brooke took a front row seat without asking, folding her hands over her knees. The ceremony began. Ridge's voice was steady as he took Taylor's hands. Her eyes shimmered as she repeated after the officiant. Then the gunshot rang out. Screams tore the lavender-stained air. Glass shattered. Petals scattered. Panic erupted like a wave. The bride fell to the floor. But it wasn't Taylor. It was Brooke. Blood soaked into the satin of her dress as she collapsed beside Ridge, who dropped to his knees in shock. Brooke, he screamed, gathering her in his arms. Sheila was gone. Chaos consumed the rooftop. Security pushed guests back. The sniper had vanished. Police were called. Sirens in the distance. But all Ridge saw was Brooke, whispering his name with bloody lips. I had to protect you, she gasped. She was aiming for you. Later, in the emergency room, Ridge refused to leave Brooke's side. The bullet had torn through her shoulder. Non-fatal, but brutal. Through pain and sedatives, Brooke murmured again and again, I'm sorry. I didn't know she would target you. That night, alone in his office, Ridge opened the folder that had been sent anonymously to his email. Inside, a copy of his medical file. Cardiology scans. Diagnosis. A full report. Ridge Forrester. Severe cardiac degradation. Prognosis. 6 months to live without a transplant. The signature was Taylor's. She had known. For months. She had withheld the truth. Let him plan a future, build a life, speak vows, all without knowing his heart was failing by the day. When Ridge confronted her, Taylor didn't deny it. I wanted to protect you, she whispered. You needed peace. I needed time. You needed me to marry you, Ridge growled. And you lied to make it happen. Taylor crumbled. I was going to tell you. After the wedding that almost got Brooke killed, he shouted. Because of a secret you kept. The betrayal was complete. Ridge walked out. Taylor was left alone at the altar she had fought so hard to build. The press exploded. Wedding shooting at Forrester Estate. Brooke Logan Shields' groom in shocking twist. Taylor Hayes accused of medical deceit. Social media devoured it. The fashion world recoiled. Buyers dropped contracts. Hope for the future suspended its next campaign. Ridge vanished for a week. And Sheila? She sent a postcard. It arrived at Forrester Creations, no return address. On the front, a lavender garden. On the back, in red ink, asterisk, next time, I won't miss. Asterisk Ridge moved back into his guest house. Brooke recovered slowly, her wound healing, but the rift between them wide and complicated. She had saved him. But she had also empowered Sheila. And Ridge could not reconcile those truths. He met with his cardiologist. Confirmed the diagnosis. Surgery was risky. Waiting was suicide. Brooke found him staring at the sea one night. You should have told me, she said. We could have faced it together. I didn't want pity. You got betrayal instead. He smiled bitterly. That's all any of us seem to get. But Brooke didn't walk away. Then let's rewrite the ending. No more weddings. No more triangles. Just the truth. Ridge looked at her, truly looked at her, for the first time in weeks. Even if that truth kills me? She nodded. Then at least you'll die knowing who you loved. But Ridge didn't die. Not yet. A donor appeared, anonymous, untraceable. The heart was a perfect match. Surgery was scheduled. Ridge survived. And when he woke, there was a single envelope beside his bed. Inside, a photo of Taylor in a psychiatric facility, sitting silently in a window seat. And a note, * love, Sheila. * the game was far from over. But the players had changed. Brooke had been broken and rebuilt. Ridge had been betrayed and reborn. Taylor had lost everything. And Sheila? She had delivered a heart only to prove she still held Ridge's in her hand. The bold and the beautiful had never been darker or more dangerous.